Yulong, love isn't measured by age, but by sincerity. Cherry Blossom. A heartfelt story that silenced prejudice with the power of love. There are moments when silence becomes a form of elegance, dignified, poised, and gracious. But there are also times when silence is no longer golden, it becomes a wound, a painful echo of judgment that echoes too loudly to ignore. This time, silence was no longer an option for Yulong. For the longest time, he remained unbothered by gossip, undisturbed by the tides of criticism that often follow fame. But when a cruel comment broke the surface, "He's too old for her," something stirred inside him. Not out of fury, but out of a protective, deeply human need to stand up, not for himself alone, but for the woman he treasures. In an industry painted with glamour and fleeting adoration, Yulong is a rare soul who moves quietly and lives meaningfully. But on this occasion, his silence cracked open. "I don't know since when loving someone had to be defined by age. If maturity makes me too old in your eyes, then I gladly embrace that oldness, so I can love her with all the completeness, wisdom, and depth that I have." He didn't shout. He didn't attack. He simply responded with grace, wrapped in sincerity and grounded in truth. His words struck like lightning, not with destruction, but with clarity. Who decided that love should be boxed in by numbers? There's a toxic narrative in today's society that insists couples must look right, that love must be symmetrical, balanced, and youthful. But real love is never born from symmetry. It is born from connection. In a world obsessed with appearances, Yulong quietly rewrote the rules. Through his unwavering devotion to Yang Mie, he showed that love is not about matching dates on a calendar, but about how you show up for someone, how you care, protect, and cherish them in your everyday actions. Even when Yulong doesn't speak, his eyes say everything. In countless behind-the-scenes clips, he is seen looking at Yang Mie not just with admiration, but with reverence. There is a softness in his gaze, a tenderness that cannot be faked or acted. It is the gaze of a man who holds someone precious in the deepest part of his heart. Sometimes he keeps a respectful distance. Other times, he quietly steps aside to let her shine. But always, he's there, silent, steady, and sincere. While cameras flash and the public obsesses over on-screen chemistry, there's something far more real unfolding off-screen. After long days of filming, when exhaustion sets in and lights dim, it's still Yulong who stays behind, waiting for her, bringing her tea, adjusting her coat, or simply watching her from afar to ensure she's okay. His gestures aren't grand. They're not performed for the camera. But that's what makes them powerful. This is the kind of love that speaks in silence. That lives in the quietest, most loyal parts of the soul. Let them say he's too old. Let them mock his quiet ways and call his love outdated. Because maturity is not a flaw, it's a gift. A man who has lived through storms loves differently. He loves patiently. He listens. He learns. He understands that true love isn't about possession, but protection. Not control, but care. Yulong's age doesn't make him unfit for love. It makes him exceptional at it. Anti-fans often hide behind screens, throwing careless words into the void. But this time, when sincerity answered, even the loudest voices fell quiet. Because love, when it's real, doesn't shout. It doesn't need defense. It simply is. Yulong stood up, not just for his own heart, but as a shield for Yang Mie. That's what makes this moment unforgettable. It's not about proving worth. It's about proving love. And sometimes, the strongest way to say "I love you" is simply to protect someone when they are not expecting it. This wasn't just a moment for his fans. It was a message for all of us. That love can exist beyond standards, beyond rules, beyond time itself. That age is not a limitation, but a layer, one that adds depth, beauty, and meaning to a relationship. Yulong didn't raise his voice to prove he was right. He raised his heart to show what it means to love with truth. The world today is filled with fleeting moments and shallow romances that vanish with a change in algorithm. But then, there are people like Yulong. People who still believe in love that is loyal, brave, and unconditional. He may not be loud, but he is real. He may not be the youngest, but he is wise. He may not be perfect, but he is profound. And in the end, that's the kind of man who deserves love and who teaches us how to love better ourselves. To everyone out there who's ever been judged for loving someone different, let you long be your reminder. You don't have to fit the mold to feel real love. You don't need the world's approval to be happy. What you need is courage. What you need is sincerity. What you need is love like this. Speech Balloon, thank you for watching. If this story touched your heart, if you believe that love is stronger than judgment, and if you stand with Yulong and Young Mia, don't forget to show your support. Please like, subscribe, and leave a comment below. Tell us, have you ever experienced a love that defied expectations? Or do you simply believe, like we do, that age means nothing when the heart is true? Drop your thoughts, and let's keep spreading stories that matter. Because in the end, it's love like this that makes life beautiful.